Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am so glad you're here for today's conversation about gratitude and how it leads us to joy. And the more joy we have in our lives, we have more happiness. Um, so before we get started, let me just quickly note that today's discussion is being recorded so that we can post the replay right here in this event post where you guys joined. And you can watch it as many times as you want. I know for me, whenever I have conversations like these, I always have nice little tidbits and nuggets that I'm able to incorporate into my life, but I know I miss a lot too. So watching the replay has always been a go-to for me in those terms. Jumping right into our topic here, let's first talk about what gratitude is. Gratitude is not just a feeling of thankfulness and appreciation for kindness or benefits received, but it is also a practice. As we get deeper into our discussion about gratitude with our coaches today, we will cover what gratitude looks like, why gratitude matters, and a bit of what it means to practice gratitude. I am so thrilled to be joined by three masterful coaches, each of them having unique specialties and perspectives to talk about the benefits and practice of gratitude. So let me start by introducing Joan Russell. Joan Russell is a change and transformation coach who helps people turn life's biggest shakeups into powerful breakthroughs. She's a former corporate executive turned coach, speaker, and strategist who knows firsthand what it takes to rebuild, realign, and rise. Joan and I have known each other for many years now. We went through coach training together, and Joan has coached me on a few things in my life that, some of those things have stuck. Some of them haven't, but I kind of blame me more than I blame Joan on that. But, I'm a work in progress, just like the rest of us. Next, I'm thrilled to introduce Ashish Goyal. An IT professional turned executive coach, Ashish helps senior leaders and professionals rediscover their sense of purpose and alignment through value coaching. Having seen how even high achievers can feel unfulfilled when their careers drift from their values, he guides them to uncover what truly drives them, redefine success on their own terms, and build an identity beyond their job title. I really resonate with Ashish's passion about finding your identity beyond your job title. This is something that is near and dear to my heart. In my former career, I guess, in corporate, as well as my late husband, who also had that struggle. And then I want to also introduce to you our next panelist, Diana Abelmona. Diana brings a rare blend of heart and strategy to everything she does. After more than a decade in HR helping organizations build thriving cultures, she shifted her focus to helping individuals create that same sense of well-being from the inside out. As a board certified health and wellness coach, she empowers people to prevent burnout, live with intention, and use gratitude as a daily anchor for lasting fulfillment. Likewise, for me, I had that corporate life, and burnout is real. Burnout is absolutely real when it comes to just doing our best and trying to keep up with keeping up. Um, and so finding that balance and living with intention and gratitude is absolutely such an important thing for us. Um, so where I want to go with this real quick is if just a little bit of housekeeping. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to type in the chat. We have Amy as our moderator, and she's gonna keep tabs on those and make sure that we don't miss your questions. But if you also would prefer to hold your questions to the end and ask it live, more than welcome to. please, you're welcome to turn on your camera too if you like. So, I'd like to start, if I may, I would like to start with a question for Joan. Joan, in the context of change and transition coaching, what is gratitude and what might it look like for clients in your field?
I find that especially in times of change, gratitude is hugely important and kind of a keystone from moving from a place where you feel like perhaps a victim or ineffectual into a place where you feel like you're more empowered and in charge. Being grateful for even the little things, because you know what? Some days are just going to suck. That's all there is to it. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
So even just little things like I woke up this morning, my bed is comfortable, and I'm here right now. And a lot of people really don't have some of those luxuries. So it's a way to reframe your mindset.
Yeah, very true. Even in when I think about change and transition, if it's change that we signed up for, it's still daunting. But what more if it's change that we didn't sign up for, something sudden that happens to us? There are things that we can be grateful for and to try to shift our mindsets. Um,
100%.
yeah. So Diana, when I think about just this idea of this gratitude to help us find that balance and find that intention. What are your thoughts on what gratitude might look like for your clients in your specialty?
Yeah, so for clients, it's about taking a few mindful moments each day to really notice something that they're thankful for. So like Joan said, being thankful for just like the little things. In a context of health and wellness coaching, sometimes a client wants to work on, focusing on exercise or something like that. So an example would be being thankful for their body's strength, right? So saying, thank you, legs, for taking me on that run today, so something like that can really shift your mindset. So that's kind of how it would look like. It's about
Yeah.
uh, reframing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Ashish, how about you? In when I think about executive coaching, I can think of I don't know. To me, when I think about executive, the first thing to me is just like, ooh, a lot of pressure, a lot of how do you see gratitude taking a part in executive coaching?
Sure. So, like you said, it's a lot of pressure, a lot of volatility, a lot of fluidity is all around workplace, and it's increasing every day. It's not getting any lesser. And on top of it, it's our own ambition, our own drive that we have to reach to this destination. We have to reach to this position. Whatever is our driver, it doesn't matter. But essentially, we are all looking for it. So while all these things are happening, and then there are challenges on all fronts, family, social. So when there are so many things happening, so many things that we are desiring, so many things we are trying to cover, it's actually an intentional choice to focus on, and it's about wearing that lens, that what matters to me, what do I start with, while I have a long goal to achieve, long journey ahead, and so much to be done, but it's starting that what do I have at this point in time. It's about wearing that lens, that this is the point I will start from, and this is what gives us grounded in a proper anchoring. And here I want to see that this creates a different kind of meaning to us, this uh, and ultimately we all look for that feeling. So this kind of groundedness gives us that feeling and that happiness, that even when we are on the way, we are in the journey, we are heading for bigger things, but at the moment life is good, we
Yeah.
are capable, we are sufficient, and we can do that. So that feeling is what matters. This is what comes from the gratitude.
So then when it comes to that feeling, how does that help our mental health?
Well, that's what matters most, because that that feeling is that we, because ultimately we are still that 5 million old animal, I would say, which is still working on that fight and flight kind of operating model. So this kind of feeling allows us to supersede that kind of animalistic response that comes from amygdala hijack, because ultimately we are still the same one. So intentionally choosing a different feeling, overriding those things, and starting in the way we would like it to be. So that's how it recalibrates everything.
Yes, that really resonates with me. That reminds me of what my doctor recently told me about my adrenal glands and my, that speaking of flight and a fight over flight and freeze. When you get that amygdala hijack, you're operating on adrenaline and cortisol, and at least for me, 20 years in corporate. I recently left my job, by the way, to come in and chat with you folks. Um, my body had been operating on adrenaline for so long that my lab result is actually telling me that my adrenal glands are getting pooped out. And so this is where that tie-in is. Um, Diana, when it comes to health and wellness coaching, what um, does this resonate with what you've studied in your field?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Gratitude can definitely help calm that stress response down. And it helps us, feel more grounded and connected, especially like when things are super overwhelming. And gratitude also helps retrain or like rewire your brain. Um, so that you notice like what's working instead of what's not, because it's so easy to focus on the negative. It's so easy to be like, ugh, I don't have this in order to do this, or I didn't get a chance to do this. It's just very easy. And so that shift in focus can completely change how we experience our, challenges or things like that. So it's about rewiring that brain. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that totally makes sense. That we can trigger those hormonal responses, those bodily functions in that way. Joan, when I think about telltale signs that we might not be practicing gratitude, what comes to mind for you?
Oh, wow. When it comes to telltale signs, I mean, stress, overwhelm, um, really being kind of disconnected and not focused. And there's a couple of little things today that I'd like to be grateful for. And one of the things is today is World Kindness Day. I mean, how fun is that? I saw that this morning before this event. And finding little things to anchor on like that instead of being scattered in your focus, it, that helps with the gratitude. Um, and when it comes to gratitude, there are a lot of statistics that show how much it helps with mindfulness and how much it helps with extending your lifespan, even. There was a study from Harvard that said that it actually increases your lifespan. So there's a lot of pluses to gratitude here, not just when it comes to overcoming flight or fight or overcoming something like, an active imbalance of cortisol,
Hmm.
but overall in life, with family, with improved sleep, with improved concentration. Are so many benefits to gratitude.
Wow, that totally makes sense.
And in
Um,
particular, having a gratitude practice, not just being grateful every once in a while, going, oh, I'm so grateful for this, or thank God for that. Having a regular gratitude practice helps improve a number of metrics.
and by regular, are we talking about daily, hourly, monthly, weekly?
Um, Daily is ideal. And of course, it's kind of hard to do something on a daily basis as a regular practice. But this is something that I would encourage people to think of as It can be as easy as before you go to sleep at night, thinking of 3 things that went well that day. Or if you're having dinner with your family, encouraging people to say what they're grateful for throughout the day. I have a morning gratitude practice that I practice that we'll talk about a little bit later.
Ashish, do you see do you see any kind of gratitude practice in executive coaching in terms of like at the workplace? I can see that from a personal perspective. What are your thoughts on from a workplace perspective?
So how I would put it is that we always carry two facets. One is, of course, the own, which is the individual leadership, and then there is another side. And most of the senior people have that people reporting, matrix reporting. They have function to lead. They have P&L to manage. So especially in that side, you are not working alone. You are working with number of people. Some people are around you in that vicinity, same time zone. Some people are in different location, different situation. So, and some people have even thousands of, so there is a huge vertical. So now imagine when you're working with such a big crowd, how do you connect? How do you show up? Because most importantly, it's not just uh, how you are thinking, it's your feelings influence the feelings within the people. When you are in the state of inspired state, energetic, positive, optimism, all these things, it shows up. Every person inherits that feeling. It even overrides the people's feeling. When there is so much optimism, it spreads like anything. So when that kind of vibe is what you need to make your missions happen, and the grander the mission is, longer it's going to take, more people it's going to involve. When all those things are needed, how do you work on that? How do you make the daily progress? How do you energize your team? So this is where again it comes in. And here I always say our body is a daily cadence. So I'm always recommend that a daily practice is needed. We all follow circadian rhythms, so we have to keep ourselves reminded. Sometimes uh, we start with the intention, we focus, and it sometimes it might be even drag if it is not coming naturally. But once it's a habit, it comes naturally, it becomes part of our muscle memory, and that's what is needed. And especially very important for leaders, that when they are focusing on agenda and and a lot of list of things, and going into advanced things like conflict management, you can't do all that thing until you are fully grounded in yourself, until you bring your team to that emotional state, that
Mm.
inspired state. You won't be able to do that. You won't be able to manage those conflicts. You won't be able to energize towards them for a common and a shared vision. So this is how it plays out. It shows up. It's needed.
So in other words, you have to walk the walk and not just talk the talk.
Yes, it has to be
Diana,
demonstrated.
Diana, you also have some experience in the corporate area. In fact, you have some experience from an HR perspective.
Mhm.
Is this how how do I ask this question? How challenging or easy was it for you to, um, well, let me ask it a different way. What was your observations from an HR perspective when it comes to seeing gratitude play out in the workplace?
Yeah, it was challenging for sure. I did a lot of retail HR, and so um, and uh, speaking from like the experience from COVID, that was really hard to try to instill gratitude. And I saw managers really like battling with it themselves because they were in a really like not so great space. And when you're in such a negative space, it's really hard to get everybody else motivated, and your team feeds off of it. So like what Ashish was saying is that optimism and positivity spreads really fast, but so does negative things. And um so it was really difficult to see. But then I found like having conversations one-on-one with managers and like our hourly employees and things, they I think at that moment they just wanted to be recognized. So at that point we really tried to make it um we really tried to be mindful and aware of what each employee was doing. And just a mere thank you for showing up today, or, I saw that you had a really hard time with that customer. I want to point out that you handled it really well, and then try to talk to them about like, oh, what do you think you did well, and have them kind of talk that out themselves, because then they start to realize like, okay, this is something that I did, and I'm being recognized for it. So that actually started to spark some positivity. So
Yeah. And that positivity, I know we expect our managers and our leaders to to spread positivity down, but can it go up?
yeah, absolutely it can. I think if it's not just about meeting goals and affecting the bottom line or anything like that. It's about I think having, from my experience, having like that honest and open communication with your manager really helps. Because then you start to build that relationship and that kind of bond. And when you do, and I know it might sound a little fluffy, right? But it really isn't, because I've seen it firsthand. I think that you can, once you build that relationship, you start to share more. And when you share more, you're inclined to share more of like the positive that's happening in your life, and I think having that is really important. And then with, because a lot of times employees are very just, they're afraid to give any feedback, they're afraid to manage up. And so I think it's just about tying it back to the fact that you want to help build the team and move the team forward, and really tying it back to the job itself. I think that's kind of what would help the situation. So,
Yeah, it's a it's a collaboration. It's not just, you lead me and I follow. Joan, you are an executive. What are your thoughts on gratitude and joy coming up from below in the hierarchies?
I think that it is, excuse me, um, it's kind of like a sphere. It's not up or down, it goes sideways because you're talking about cross functionality as well. So
Yes.
it's not just within your department, it's also within your department and other departments and stakeholders within the organization all the way around. I mean, gratitude can be as little as genuinely thanking somebody for the hard work that they've done, whether that's up, down, sideways, diagonally, in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Gratitude can be part of, your corporate culture even. And most organizations who bring things like gratitude and mindfulness into corporate culture, it helps them with their bottom lines as well.
Mhm.
So this is not just for employees. This works all the way around. As a change coach, I work with organizations with their change initiatives. And a lot of times when you have a big change initiative that is happening within an organization, that impacts, of course, upper management, but it mostly impacts the people who are doing the work.
Mm.
And having it be a consultative environment where people actually feel comfortable and are open to sharing, as well as asking people's opinions and keeping people informed all the time on what's happening. It helps when for change initiatives to actually become more embedded within the organization quicker and with less turnover in many cases. So having gratitude all the way around, whether it's as simple as sending somebody, a Starbucks gift card, or saying, I appreciate you and
Mm.
this thing in particular that you did, and being very specific with it. Because if it's just as a generality, it doesn't hit as hard. If it's something that somebody can put into their own kudos folder and remember how good they are at some point, that's gratitude.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so when I think about the practice of gratitude and it, like we've all talked about, it's once you're like in that negative space, it's so hard to see outside of that. That's the forest that I'm in. What's beyond the trees? Where's the positive? What are some baby steps that we can take to enhance our practice of gratitude? Joan, you already kind of talked about it a little bit. It could be just expressing some level of appreciation for something somebody did, or first thing in the morning, um, the things that you're thankful for. So can you offer us some more baby steps that we can think about to say, okay, wait, hold on. I'm in this negative space. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try that. What are some of the little bite-sized pieces?
I've found that the biggest one of all is being present in the
Mm,
present moment, because anxiety lives in the future, depression lives in the past. Being in the present moment is where gratitude lives. Because you can be grateful for everything that is here now. Even if it's, seeing your friends' Northern Lights on, their Instagram page, but you live in Southern California and you don't get to see it, but you still get to see it. How cool is that? I
yeah.
mean, it's little things like that. And there's also bigger things. I mean, being grateful for living where you do, for example, or being grateful for having a wonderful meal on the table. I mean, being grateful for the people that surround you, your friends, your family, et cetera, et cetera. It's a matter of trying to have that overall awareness throughout your day. So that way it doesn't sink you down to where some people may want you to be.
Yeah. Ashish, your thoughts?
Very similar to what John said. It's about being present, and I generally superimpose that with the intention, that it's about making that intentional call that to ourselves, that I'm choosing to disconnect from all other things, but starting from the point of gratitude, that this is what I have. I'm happy about it. I'm appreciative of this thing. And this is my starting point. No matter what my mission is, how mammoth it is, how long it's gonna. Then building ceremonies or events around it. It could be your personal ritual before a meeting, closing the eyes for 30 seconds, thinking about what exciting things are going to happen, or thinking of a ritual, that how I'm going to design the format of the meeting, in which how others are going to show up, how others are going to speak, or what's going to be the charter for the workshop. So it's all about having that intention and a mindful control, that I am gonna shape my mental state as well as everybody around me, and feeling that empowerment.
I feel a little bit of empathy, a message of empathy there in what you're saying, that we can practice gratitude, but we can also set the stage for others to easily practice gratitude as well. So that's lovely,
Yeah,
lovely.
and if I add something to here, I generally follow the tribe mentality, that, and this is where John again referring to that, it's not top, bottom up or top down thing. It's more of a horizontal, where each person is equal in a tribe. That's how humans think. That's how the brain works. So no matter what is the social hierarchy or what is a position of power, it's about, if even if the person who may not have a fancy title but is in the room, has the ability to influence the mental state of everybody else through the practice of gratitude. So that's that immediate switch that we have, that everybody holds, that can make the difference.
Yeah. And that goes along the lines of the kindness, World Kindness Day as well, right? We can use that intention of kindness. It doesn't have to be today. It can be every day that we offer kindness. And that also highlights gratitude. For example, if I see somebody who's in need somewhere, I can show some empathy, show some kindness, and I can offer a little bit of kindness, and in return, it does help me recognize I'm grateful that I have this thing that I can share that this other person doesn't have.
Definitely.
Lovely, lovely. Diana, what are some baby steps in your mind that if you have anything else to add, that we can do to enhance our practice of gratitude?
Yeah, there's something that I've been practicing lately, and it's called joy spotting. And it's actually by a writer and wellness educator named Alex L. And what the whole point of that is to be present. So being present in the moment. That seems, to be the common theme, but it's just if you are, let's say, if you're out on a walk, you want to maybe like notice something that gives you joy in like that exact moment. So you want to make a mental note of it, whether it's like the sunlight or it's the breeze. Like for example, I was taking my son to school the other day, and the one thing that gave me joy was seeing this little dog crossing the street with their owner in a pink puffy coat, and the dog just stopped in her tracks and looked up, and like I noticed like the wind was starting to kick up, and she just kind of put her face up in the air and just wanted to like take in the wind and wouldn't move until that breeze like totally blew by. And so at that moment I was like, oh my God, that's so cute. Like, so I made a mental note of that. And what I did is I actually recorded a voice note. So instead of me, writing things down, because I'm not completely into journaling quite yet, but a voice memo, right? And that way, if I'm ever down, I kind of go back to that. But it also serves as a reminder to spot joy in that moment. So I think that can definitely help with maintaining presence and also help with gratitude. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I use my voice memo a lot when I come up with some ideas. I don't reference them again, but it cements the idea in my head. So I can totally see that from a joy spotting perspective, that it can just really dig it deeper, dig its roots deeper by doing that. I love that. Um, so we're halfway through our time here, and I wanted to make sure that I set aside some time, not only for some Q&A, if anybody had any questions or if they wanted to have anything they want to share in the audience, but also I wanted to offer some time for Joan is going to share with us a practice of gratitude that really works for her. So let me first just offer some time if anybody wants to ask any questions or put something in the chat that we can respond to. Feel free to unmute yourself. I heard a chime. I don't know why. Okay. So with that, Joan, if I can hand the mic over to you, hand the stage over to you, will you please share with us your practice of gratitude that I've been waiting for?
Sure, thank you. And Diana, I just want to say the dog in the little pink puppy suit, you actually painted such a great picture of that. We were all smiling and laughing just thinking about that. So thank you for that visual today.
Yeah,
That
you're
was
welcome.
that was really fun. Okay, so what I'm going to share is it's actually from a book that sounds cheesy as hell, and it is by Melody Beattie, and it's called Make Miracles in 40 Days. Now, does this book really make miracles in 40 days? Hey, that's up to you what you believe to be a miracle or not. But it's something I picked up a number of years ago, and I've actually used it as a base for my gratitude practice on a daily basis. Well, semi-daily because I'm not super consistent. But what I'd like to do is if the folks that are here feel open to it, for you to get out a piece of paper and a pen, because we're going to do it the old-fashioned way instead of voice notes. We're going to write this down. And what she says in the book is having a daily practice actually really helps you see not just get it out of you with what you're grateful for, but also it gives you can use it to benchmark in your life. So you can take a look back, like 5, 7 years ago where you were compared to where you are now. And why is that? And that's because we don't just write what we're actually grateful for. What we also write down are things that we may not be really grateful for, but may be something that's good for us in the future. For example, I'll give you an example from my own life. I am not grateful for the fact that I accidentally backed my car into a small brick wall.
Oops.
However, I'm grateful that I have a deductible, so that way I don't have to pay the full amount, for example. So it's looking for those silver linings. But what you can also do is you can say things like, I am just writing down, I am grateful that this thing happened. And you may not even mean it. But if you write it down and you think about it, it helps dissolve that and it helps you accept it instead of fighting it all the time. So, what I'm going to invite you to do right now, well, first of all, I'll give you an example of one of mine, and I'm going to have to look back because I just did this morning. One of my great gratitudes was I am up for a big consulting gig and hadn't had a conversation for it that was scheduled on Monday, but they no-showed. So I said, I am grateful for this company no showing, so I get a glimpse of who they are and how they respond to that interaction. So that's just an example. So I invite you right now to write down, first of all, at the top of your page, today I am grateful for. And then writing something that you are absolutely 100% grateful for, that you're grateful for today. We're still writing. I love it. And then thinking about something that you may not be super happy about, something that may be a challenge in your life right now, and writing a gratitude for it. And that may be challenging to write. And as you're writing that, it helps you process it as well. It's not just a matter of saying a false gratitude like, oh, I'm grateful that that guy cut in front of me or something like that. It helps you to process it. It's not utilized as, toxic positivity. So one of the things that she says in her book with this is that to do this is a daily practice. And you can do it solo, or you can find a gratitude partner, someone that you feel comfortable enough to share some pretty deep stuff with, because sometimes you may say that you're grateful for things that you may not want to share with people. So it needs to be somebody who you feel safe with if you choose to do it that way. I've chosen to go it alone, but your mileage may vary with how you decide to work that gratitude practice. So that's just a thought on how gratitude doesn't always have to be 100% positive. It can help you process some not so great things as well, and to help reframe your mindset.
I love this. I absolutely love this. If everybody's okay, may I share what I wrote?
Absolutely.
Today, I'm grateful for this panel discussion and everyone who's joined us here. Honestly, you guys, this is the largest group of live attendees that we've had. Whether you're truly listening or silent or not, it's very encouraging for me that this could be meaningful to somebody. And the second thing I put was I've been feeling I've been losing my confidence in this community, in my my effectiveness in making this community meaningful. And so I put down, I am grateful that Inspire, Empower, Achieve's growth is slow but steady. It gives me the space to be intentional with what I'm offering to our community members. And I had not thought of it that way before. I just thought, you know what? No one's engaging, no one's joining. Um, I'm putting stuff out there, but I don't know if it means anything to anybody. And that's all I want to do is I want to share my learnings and the learnings of all these masterful coaches, and just compile it all in one place where something's going to hit, because something that's meaningful to me may not be meaningful to 95% of the people in my community. But if everybody's contributing what's meaningful to them, it's going to, it's somebody's going to find something that's golden to them. And so I'm so grateful for this exercise, Joan, because it's really made me realize that being that the growth of this community is slow, it it's actually a good thing, because I can be very intentional and very steady and deliberate with what I'm building for everybody. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm glad that resonated with you and it's helpful for you.
Thank you. I'd like to invite anyone else to share if they want to. No pressure. No pressure. I just felt compelled to share.
I can share. Oh, it's just you and I go.
Go ahead, go
Okay.
ahead.
Please.
So I wrote down that today I am grateful as well for the opportunity to be a panelist on this platform, and especially since it's a topic that I really love. So thank you for that. And the other one is I am actually not grateful about or I'm not happy about not about getting rejected from so many jobs that I've been applying to. But I am grateful for the experience I get from it, for interviewing, from, writing 10 different drafts of my cover letter and resume. So it's like, it's the experience in it that is allowing me to keep going, so yeah.
That's amazing.
Mhm.
Congratulations. Ashish?
Nice. Yeah, so the thought came to me was that, and it also connects to your mission through this inspire, empower, and achieve. So I was feeling that, and generally, let me tell you honestly, in New Zealand, the feeling is that I am in the far corner of the world, left out most of the time, even in the office context or client context. Sometimes even New Zealand is missed out in the map. So you will find some of the maps where New Zealand doesn't exist. So with that feeling, I was feeling like there is a forum. It's so nice to have this forum that I'm able to connect with so many people across the globe and different time zones. I may not have been to those places, but being able to connect. So this forum exists. These tools exist, and that there's community that believes, the people, like-minded people who believe in certain things similar to what I am thinking. So it's such a big confidence maker. So, well,
Wow,
thanks for
that's
having
awesome.
us. Mm.
Thank you. Thank you. Very cool. Okay, with just a few minutes left of our time here together, this has been such a powerful conversation, at least for me, and I hope for everyone else here. I'm so grateful for our masterful coaches here today with Diana, Ashish, and Joan. And Joan, thank you so much for that exercise in the end. Um, Before we wrap up, I'd love to give each of our coaches a moment to share a bit about their work and the kind of coaching that they do. And if you have any upcoming events, or if you want to share how people can connect with you if they'd like to learn more and work together with you. Um, Ashish, since you're at the top of my screen right now, let's give you the stage.
Yeah, sure. So, well, through all these things that I'm doing, I'm on to mission to create um, confidence, clarity, and choices for the people. Especially, biggest focus is towards those people in the 15 to work experience of 15 to 25 years, like most of us are in the forum. And especially the way we are facing, we become a slave to our office identity, office titles, how that's shaping the sense of purpose. So I'm here to help them achieve that, regain that confidence, have that clarity, have the choices in the direction that gets them fulfillment, that makes them feel that this is what they are here for. So that's what is most fulfilling to me, and I'm also appreciative that I'm able to echo that message through your forum, this platform. So that's what I'm on to. And so anybody who's keen to redesign their life, that's what my expertise is. And I do a lot of webinars under the banner of value coaching and E3 Pathfinder. My preferred is always the people, because that's what my focus is, to help people benefit. I also do a lot of consulting gigs. That's more lucrative, so keeps things going. But yes, people is my primary focus. So if anybody is looking for these any of these triple C's, always feel free to reach out to me through this forum or through LinkedIn.
Wonderful. Thank you. Please feel free to include your link in the chat
Yeah,
for
sure.
our viewers. Joan, could you please share a bit about yourself and how people can reach you?
Hi, I'm Joan Russell. I am a change and transformation coach, and consultant and public speaker. I work with individuals and organizations to help them transmute change into growth. A lot of times people are afraid of change, and trying to make it more accessible and something that people can think of as a path towards opportunity, growth, and possibility. That's where I live. I just put in the chat how you can reach me through LinkedIn or through my email. Coming up, I have a couple of things coming up through the end of the year. I'm going to be having a 7-day reset that's coming up, that's going to be talking about, there's a lot of change going on in the world and how you can better process it within yourself and become more resilient to it. As well as also at the end of the year / into early next year, I'll be doing a goal setting workshop and accountability workshops. So keep in touch with me through LinkedIn or through my email. I'll add you to my email list and keep in touch.
Wonderful. Thank you. Diana,
Thank you for having me today,
of course.
for
Thank
sure.
you.
Yeah, hi, I'm Diana Abulmana, and I am a health and wellness coach. And I have been board certified through the National Board of Health and Wellness Coaches for almost a year now. And I really focus on working with people that are looking to make lasting lifestyle changes through through nutrition and exercise. But I have found myself leaning more towards focusing on women's health and really supporting women as they are transitioning through perimenopause and menopause. Menopause is having a moment now, and it's great because we should all shout at the rooftops about it, to basically get the support that we need as women. And I know from lived experience, as well as experience from different clients that I've helped, and even friends, about the struggle that they are going through. Oftentimes we feel like we're losing control. We are experiencing changes in our bodies that are so foreign to us, and that where we feel like we're becoming strangers in our own bodies, and it's a scary place to be.
Yeah.
So I really would love to connect with women that are experiencing that, to help them find themselves again, help them balance their busy lives, because oftentimes they're working a full-time demanding job and raising a family and having to take their kids to, soccer practice and, host family gatherings and all the things that come with lifing, right? And so, yeah, so it's real, and it's just about that, focusing on the progress that you make over that perfection. And that's like something I use and I tell myself all the time, and I use with clients. It's about progress over perfection. You take a step back, you look at the little things that you do along the way, and you recognize those, and that in itself is a major accomplishment. And so because if we continue chasing perfection, it's going to exhaust us, right? So yeah, that's where I'm at. You can find me on LinkedIn as well, or at my website, humans-in-progress.com. So
I love that.
progress. Yep.
Right
I love
there.
that. And of course, we're all members of Inspire, Empower, Achieve. You can also direct message each other through here. So there's so many ways to reach everybody. Thank you all so much for joining us. We'll get the replay up at some point by the end of the day is my goal, if not tomorrow, because I'm gonna be kind to myself too. Um, I guess that's it. Yeah, thank you all, and please keep in touch and be on the lookout for our future events. We have one every month, and next one will be in December. Do you remember what date? December. Well, you'll see it in the platform, and it's going to be on
December 4th.
December 4th. So Amy's right there. Hi, Amy. So hope to see you all there, and thank you so much for joining today. I'm so grateful for everybody for joining today, and thank you so much to all of our coaches. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Charlotte and
you.
Emmy.
Bye.
And
Thank you so
nice
much.
meeting you, Diana and John.
All right,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.